It's Caking All the Way time, and today we'll be baking one of my favorite cakes from our website. It is called the Pinacolada cake. Well, this cake is made up of 4 unique elements: the vanilla sponge base, the pina colada curd, frosted coconut, and of course the Swiss meringue buttercream we would use to build the entire cake and decorate it at the end of the day. We'll also be using elements like a cocktail umbrella just to add a bit of beauty to the overall cake and to let everyone know that this really is a tropical delight. So let's get baking. So the first thing I'll be doing is melting my butter and my milk. Alright, this is called a hot milk method. The butter is actually melted on heat with the milk, and I find this technique works perfectly. I have a course online where I show in depth, step by step, on how to make the hot milk vanilla cake. You can actually check that out on the link below. Okay, so in here is my butter, and to that I will add my milk, and I will put this on heat for it to begin to not just melt but for it to warm up, because we need it to be really hot. I'm gonna go on with the flow and begin to add my eggs. I'm using 8 whole eggs. All right, and I'll be adding my sugar. I'm just going to toss that all inside the bowl. So you can see I've just increased the speed, and I'm going to wait a while for this to go from looking okay, it's getting pale, almost doubled in size. All right, and the consistency is quite thick. So this is exactly what we've been waiting for. Let me turn this off. Now we can have a look at our batter. It's doubled in size, and it's gone to the color that we actually want, which is really pale, okay, almost white, and the consistency is quite thick, like runny ice cream. All right, so into this I'm going to start pouring all the other ingredients. I've just put this in one side, and I'm going to get ready to pour in the flour into the mixture. But before I do that, I want to add the baking powder and the salt. And then of course the salt. You never want to skip out the salt in your recipe. All right, the salt has a way of balancing your taste and actually reducing the sweetness of the cake, so that's very key. I'm just going to mix this together, and remember I said to you that the flour has already been pre-sifted. All right, but just for the sake of making sure that we are home free, I'm just going to sieve that again. Okay, all right, so I'm going to pour this back into my bowl. There we go. So there are 2 more ingredients we need to get into this mixture: the vanilla extract and the oil. Okay. Ooh. Wow. And then into this I'm going to pour my oil. So we're getting best of both. We're getting the flavor from the butter, and then we're getting the texture from the oil. It's such an amazing recipe. Once you have it in your stash of recipes, this I assure you will always be a to-go So I'm going to mix this through, and yes, still hot to the touch. That is why it's called a hot milk cake. And now I have all my elements ready. The egg and the sugar mixture, the liquid mixture, and of course the dry ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach my bubble whisk back. And guys, it's important that you don't leave this lying around for too long. You don't want this to get deflated. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is begin to pour in some of the flour. Not all of it at once. You don't want to shock your batter. It's very key. And I like to add it in 3 additions. So what I'm doing is just eyeballing it. Once it is combined, you want to turn that off. Pour some other flour into your batter. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop things here. But at this moment, I want to take some of the batter that we have mixed, because it's time to pour in the liquid part of the ingredients. We take a few spoons. And I'm going to just mix this through. And once it's properly mixed in, then I will pour it into the remaining batter. Yeah. And you are welcome back. We are going to put the cake together. I have gone ahead to trim the sides of my cake and leveled them. So we now have 6 layers. All right. And then I have all the fillings and frostings I will be using to assemble the cake together. This is my Swiss meringue buttercream frosted flakes. And I have the toasted coconut shaving. Got coconut, shaved it to the size we wanted, put it in the oven for a few minutes, and then when it came out and cooled down, we put some icing sugar on it just to sweeten it up a bit. I have in here my Pinacolada curd, which we make in-house with fresh pineapple juice. We take pineapples, cut them into little pieces or chunks, and then we juice it. But for the sake of this cake, I've actually put it in a piping bag ready to So I'm going to put this in the chiller for a few minutes, about 30 minutes or so that it can firm up and I can go ahead with the roasting. And then I'll finish it up with this toasted coconut flakes.